Hello there, very good evening and welcome to your Primetime News Bulletin. We are starting off the bulletin with a look at the day's proceedings of the Presidential Commission of Inquiry into the bond issue. And with me I have Zulfiq Fazan, who's been following the proceedings of the inquiry. Good evening, Zulfiq.
Good evening, Shane.
Zulfiq, some interesting developments at the day's proceedings today. We have summons being issued with regards to these two gentlemen. Why these two gentlemen?
Well, Shane, Minister Kabir Hashim, General Secretary of the UNP, Minister Malik Samarawikrama, Chairman of the United National Party, have both been issued with summons to appear before the Presidential Commission of Inquiry tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Now, the reason for these two gentlemen to be summoned before the Presidential Commission of Inquiry is because they were among those present with former Minister Ravi Karunanayake, former Governor of the Central Bank Arjuna Mahendran, at a breakfast meeting on the 26th of February 2015. That's one day right before the first controversial auction took place at the Central Bank.
Zulfiq, a breakfast meeting is nothing unusual, but why is it so significant in this context?
Well, Shan, that's an interesting question because according to witnesses, including Arjuna Mahendran, that breakfast meeting is where the government, which is recently elected in 2015, had met at the Central Bank to discuss urgent funding requirements that they had found out on unpaid bills. So when these two gentlemen testify before the Commission tomorrow, we would exactly get to know what was the definite discussion that took place at the Central Bank on the 26th of February 2015 at that breakfast meeting.
All right, Zulfiq. Now, we also made reference to a statement that was made by the former governor of the Central Bank, Arjuna Mahendran, at today's proceedings in our highlights a short while ago, where he said something to the effect of, ask the Prime Minister. Now, what are the circumstances that led to the former governor to make this statement?
Well, Shane, it all started off when Senior Additional Solicitor General Dapula de Oliveira took extracts from the Prime Minister's statement, which was made on the 17th of March 2015. If I may quote the Prime Minister's statement, the Prime Minister says, "I insisted on a public auction because private placements have led to corruption and a lack of transparency." And he went on to quote certain malpractices or irregularities that had taken place in this private placement system. And he ends that statement by saying, these are what the primary dealers are saying. At that point, the Senior Additional Solicitor General questioned Arjuna Mahendran, do you know who these primary dealers are? And then Arjuna Mahendran said no. However, the Prime Minister would apparently know who these primary dealers are. And then the Senior Additional Solicitor General went on to take more extracts from the Prime Minister's statement and put to Arjuna Mahendran that in the Prime Minister's statement, the Prime Minister, Ranil Wickremesinghe, had exonerated Arjuna Mahendran of any wrongdoing in that statement in reference to the 27th of February 2015 bond auction. It is at that point Arjuna Mahendran said that he cannot make any comment on that, but you should ask the Prime Minister about that statement. And in addition, Arjuna Mahendran said that during the second week of March 2015, before the Prime Minister made the statement, he actually sent a report to the Prime Minister, and when he was questioned, did the Prime Minister respond to that? He said he would not know to comment on that. It's better to ask the Prime Minister. And that is how the statement, ask the Prime Minister, was said by Arjuna Mahendran to questions posed at the Presidential Commission of Inquiry by the Deputy Solicitor General Dapula de Oliveira. So let's now take a look at some of the other key highlights that took place during today's proceedings of Bondgate.
Arjuna Mahendran went on to say he was not aware of the meeting in which the then Finance Minister Ravi Karunanayake had instructed state banks to bid low at March 2016 auctions. He was not aware of Central Bank officials, including former Deputy Governor P. Samarasiri, were present at the meeting and said nobody told him anything of such a meeting. A phone recording was played earlier at the Commission which showed Arjun Aloysius, the chairman of Perpetual Group, having knowledge that state banks would bid low at those auctions. The Attorney General's Department said Arjun Aloysius, with the assistance of Ravi Karunanayake, fixed the auction on the 29th of March 2016. The AG's department claimed he was responsible for giving inside information to Arjun Aloysius, to which Mahendran said no. The Attorney General's Department pointed out the 30-year bond in question did not trade in the markets after they ended up with the Sri Lanka Insurance Corporation, the EPF and the University Grants Commission Provident Fund. UNP MP and CORP member Hector Apuhami was present at the Presidential Commission of Inquiry today for an interview with the officers from the Attorney General's Department who are assisting the Commission. The EPF dealer Saman Kumara had a questionable track record when it came to equities, and Justice Prasanna Jayawardena asked Mahendran was he not aware of the stock exchange scandal. Mahendran said the SEC conducted an investigation and did not get any evidence to indict Kumara, and thereafter he was transferred to the EPF. Justice Prasanna Jayawardena concluded today's proceedings saying a Roman emperor's wife should have been more careful.
The Bond Commission has now reached its final stage. Come end of this month, the tenure of this commission will end. During the past week, we constantly said that Ministers Malik Samaravikrama and Kabir Hashim should give evidence before the commission over this incident. Tomorrow, the Bond Commission will record evidence from the General Secretary of the ruling political party. Many say the chairman of this party, Malik Samaravikrama, is the most powerful minister in this government. We believe bringing this powerful minister before this commission to ascertain the truth is an important and decisive move. The next step would be to get the leader of the United National Party to appear before this commission and provide a statement, voluntarily or otherwise, which will enable to strengthen the investigative process. The central bank operated directly under the Prime Minister. It was under his recommendation that Arjuna Mahendran came to Sri Lanka from Singapore to hold the position of governor.
Arjuna Mahendran Mahatma Singapore indang Lankaවට ඇවිල්ලා මේ තනතුර දරලා